Hey, welcome back everyone. So far, let's get you caught up to speed on what we've done. We did the decon wash, did the wheels and tires, did the iron remover. Then I brought it in the garage and we did a full clay bar decontamination to the truck. So I did all the windows, did the windshield, did the back glass, clay bar the mirrors, everything, hood, etc. And so it's feeling better already. So if you ever clay barred, if you rub it with your bare hands, you can kind of feel any imperfections, and it feels pretty imperfection free right now. So it's coming out really good so far. You wouldn't believe how rough the paint was just from the factory on a brand new truck. Like I said before, just from either rail dust on a train or just in transportation, but it surely was rough. So we got it better now. So what we're doing right now is we are taping off, prepping for paint correction. So you can see I started to tape off some things already on the mirrors. So this truck has a lot of plastic on it all around and rubber trim. So I'm going to tape off everything around here. I'm going to tape off the two sides here around this piano black trim, because this is scratched up so bad. I know you can't see it probably from there, but this trim, no matter which vehicle I've had it on, whether it's my M3, my last 250, F250 that I had, it's crazy how this stuff scratches up. So I'm going to paint correct this as well. We'll ceramic coat on top of that. But we need to cover all this rubber just because that polish, once it gets on there, it's very hard to get off. And here there's a chrome strip, but underneath that is another little kind of rubber plastic seal or trim piece. So I'm going to tape all of this off all around the doors. But I had just started so last night after I finished the clay bar. So the tape I use, it doesn't really matter which tape you use. So I got some different sizes. So you can see these two are kind of the same size right here, and then I have the thicker one as well. So the thicker one I kind of put in bigger areas, but you need some thinner ones. Like this is probably 1/2 inch to 1 inch. This might be a 1 inch. Yeah, it's a 1 inch right there. And this is 2 inch wide, and this is 1 inch wide. This one I got from Obsessed Garage, and this one's a little more bendy, I guess pliable, and it works better, no doubt, but I can't find it locally. And just, as last minute, I'll get these from Lowe's, just from some painter's tape. So sometimes the painter's tape doesn't stick too well on the rubber pieces, but this green 3M tape, I'm not sure exactly what kind, it just says precision masking tape, and I'll link it in the description, but this one definitely works the best, but it's more expensive as well. So got to tape off everything when it comes to the trim on this truck, because we want to do a good job. And look, it's currently, so we're in May now, and it's South Louisiana, and it's about 100 degrees outside with the heat index. I know it's in the 90s in regular temperature. And again, the reason I'm doing this truck is the guy installed an AC for me, and we kind of did a trade on some work, come to do this full process, and he installed my AC, or he gave me a discount on it. And you can't see this right behind the camera, but it's 74 in here in the garage with no humidity. It's quite nice. So that's well worth it. So let's just get started taping. So I'll kind of just show you a little bit here. And look, this does not have to be perfect, right? Just as long as you're covering those areas, that's all that matters. And just tear it. See, they're just something like that. As you can see, I just want to protect the, like I said, I just want to protect the plastic. Yeah, there's greenish see-through tape. This works really well. You tend to bend it around these curves a little better than the blue tape. can do a longer stretch at once. So just something like that. So this is the more non-enjoyable part of the process, right? I enjoy the paint correction part, but this is necessary to get the results done. So what I'm hoping is for today, I will at least get the first step done on the paint correction. And I'll show you that I'm going to use Jescar correction compound. And the truck's not like in such bad of shape where I need a microfiber cutting pad. I think I'm just going to use the foam cutting pad, the harder of the foam. And if I need, as I'm using it, then I'll switch to the microfiber, but I don't think it's going to be necessary for me to use the microfiber. The foam's a little easier to use too. But if I can at least get that done today, then maybe do finishing polish tomorrow, most likely, and then prep it for ceramic coat. And then I'm going to do 1 layer of G-Technic CSL, that's Crystal Serum Light, and then 2 layers of G-Technic XO4. And I'll probably do XO4 and all the trim as well, and you can't see it right here, but the plastic cap on top of the bed of the truck. So that should hold up quite nicely. So see, this window is done all around, so not hard to do, especially when you have good tape. But yeah, so stick around. I'm gonna finish taping off, and then we're gonna get into some paint correction, and I'll show you some of that. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so the truck's fully taped off. So we are ready for our first step in paint correction. So I'm going to show you a few things I'm using, different from if you watched the last video series on my first M3, the rear wheel drive 2022 M3. But this is Jescar correction compound. Put that a little closer so you can see it. So this is from Obsessed Garage, just because I buy it, and I buy it anyway, so why not support Matt? But this is going to be the first step that we do. And I've got a couple of tools. So this is a new Griot's Garage G9 polisher. So I just picked this one up and I changed it to a 5-inch plate. It came with a 6-inch plate, but I switched it out. And this one, I had ordered this. I have the Adams cordless, but I know for a job like this, it's not gonna last long enough, even with 4 batteries, or be powerful enough. But I had ordered this one, and I ordered the Adams SK Pro in the same size with a 5-inch plate. Now that one is a 15 millimeter long throw, or just 15 millimeter throw. This one is a 9 millimeter, so the throw's not as long, but this one is way lighter and more balanced, and it was less money. This thing has a lot of great reviews. I think a lifetime warranty as well. So I decided to keep this one. I actually sent back the Adams one. The reason I ordered the Adams is because I also have the 3-inch. See that? That's the 3-inch Adams SK Pro. SK is for Swirl Killer. And I do like this one. It's crazy. This one's heavier than that Griot's. I mean, I think it was heavier than the 5-inch, than the larger one. But this one, I've liked this one as well. It's got some power. And the main reason I wanted the, not necessarily wanted, I was going to get the Adams SK Pro in the larger version, the 5-inch backing plate, was they use the same power cord. So it's easy just to change them out in between, whereas now I have to change the cords, but that's not a big deal. And I think the Griot's was half the price of the Adams one. The Adams one was around $300, and that Griot's is like $150. I'll link them in the description. But this is what I'm going to start with. So these are the pads I'm going to start with. These are foam pads, and these are the hardest. If you would be able to feel them, they're the hardest for the most paint correction. And then I'm going to use some softer ones for the finishing polish that we'll use in the Sonax Perfect Finish. I'm going to start with this and just see if this will get me the results that I want without getting to the microfiber cutting pad. If this thing was like crazy swirled out, I would definitely just go straight to the microfiber cutting pad. So when you order these, I order these packs off Amazon. It comes with like 6 pads or so. And when you get them, you kind of get like, you get a couple of the hard ones, a couple of medium, a couple of the softest. So, so these are what I use, and it does take a couple of them, probably more than a couple to do the entire truck. So we're gonna get started. I've also got a few microfiber towels. I got some Adams single soft towels just for removal of the polish. And I've got some lower pile. These are Rag Company towels as well. I just have a few out, along with pad brush if I need to keep my pad clean. And then I've got this Scan Grip light, as you can see. This has got a couple different levels, just so I can check as we go and check for swirls and just see how the correction comes out. But I can see imperfections. This light works pretty well at an angle, I find, kind of on the side. So we're gonna get started. All right, so I'm gonna get my power cord out, and I'll show you a few panels, for us to get started. So I'm gonna do this door so you can see. And I wiped off the first panel, and definitely I rather these. This is Rag Company's edgeless. I think it's either 300 or 365 GSM, but it's a pretty low pile, and I just like these for a lot of things. There's no lint they leave at all, and so they just work really well. So my 4 pea-sized spots. All right, kind of get this cord around me over here. Make sure we're good. And so I'm just gonna kind of spread this around. Let's give it a shot. Tell you what about this polisher. I know it's loud. It's not loud compared to the others. It is loud on camera, but it is so light, so much less vibration. All right, so what I do is I kind of work each section till this this polish and the perfect finish, it starts white and it kind of gets mostly clear. I guess it kind of breaks down. And so I just work it till it's pretty clear, and then I come and wipe it off. I tell you, the other thing I really like about this Jess car for correcting compound is there's so little dust. That's one thing, like I don't mind using the Adams. Man, this fusing looks awesome though. I don't mind using the Adams. It's 2 stages to it. They have a correcting polish, they have a finishing polish. And it does a fairly good job. It's okay results, but man, is it dusty. This, you can see this right here, this panel I did just looks and feels awesome already. So once I do that finishing step after, then it's gonna be legit, as my 8-year-old son would say. He would say, "Bruh, that's legit." They went back to their moms today. So I get a little more time, I guess, this evening. That's kind of why I planned it. You know, I get them half of the time. They're with their mom the other time. And I have the whole weekend to kind of mess with this. So it gives me a little more time. But the paint was already pretty smooth from the clay bar. And now from this, it just looks awesome. So get my scan grip light and just kind of give it a little test of what I see, and everything looks really good. Especially on gray paint, you kind of have to get it at an angle, and you gotta look everywhere. Yeah, that looks good. Let's continue. So I'm gonna do the second half of this door right here. Wrap this around. What I like about this Griot's polisher too is there's some little red Griot's Garage logos that are on the backing plate, and it's just kind of, so you know when they're spinning or if it stalls, and it's not. So it kind of helps you guide if you're kind of new to this to not have the pad stall. You know, if you had an angle, you know, if the panel's flat and you're at an angle, it'll stall the pad where it's actually not polishing or spinning. So it kind of helps as a guide. You might be able to see on that. You probably can't see, but I don't want to drip anything. It just kind of helps as a guide to keeping your polisher flat and level with the surface. And I work in 2 to 3 foot sections, cross hatch. Kind of medium pressure, not a whole lot of pressure, just kind of letting the pad work. That AC feels great behind me. See, I feel like if I was with that cordless polisher, that Adams one, which the convenience of it's great, but I'd probably already be kind of worn down on the battery. It's just a shame how short they last. And Obsessed Garage, you know, is selling the new Milwaukee cordless, which is supposed to be the best one as far as power, but still, I think just the jury's not out yet on those as far as the, I don't want to say longevity, just the battery life. You would need a lot of batteries, which if you already have that based on your tools, that's great, because like I have DeWalt tools and batteries, and DeWalt makes a polisher, a cordless. And I just figured it's probably not worth it, just need corded. I always wanted a Rupes. I don't know why I said Rupes. I always wanted a Rupes, but I don't know, just it was like, I don't want to spend $450 or This is 160, and I do believe you get what you pay for, but this is a pretty awesome machine. Never used a Rupes, so I might be really missing out. What I do know is this polish works. And I probably need to put my gloves on because I could feel just from the residue of the polish getting on my hands, it gets kind of tacky and just dries me out. I just rather wear gloves. And so I need to do this top part up here. I kind of followed the body lines. I need to do this whole top part and above the door handle. And I should be able to do that with this one. So I have the 3-inch polisher as well. I'm just trying to do sections that I can. I may save the 3-inch for the bottom part of the door because of the contours down here. It's probably what I'll do. But I'll finish the door right here. That looks so good. I think the customer's gonna be happy with that. All right, so I'm gonna stand up to do the next part just by the door here so I could see. Might take my speed down a little bit just to kind of get it on there. But this is why you want to tape off, because I want to get as close as possible without getting it all over the trim. See, I'm not going to be able to get under that. I got it. I see some dust flying up on the windows. That's okay. Do the windows last and clean those. So I'm going to leave my 3-inch to do all around the top of the door and the pillar because it's a smaller area. So a little bit of dust, but very manageable with this. So I'd hit the handle while I was right there, polish up the chrome nicely. So yeah, after this, I'm definitely gonna get some gloves on. All right. I know it's hard to tell the difference in the camera, like this door versus this door, but I can already see just the clarity and gloss, and just how slick and smooth it is. That Just car just works so well. I've also got an Adams Micro. Let me grab that real quick. It's my least favorite polisher. I was most excited about it. So, I think you can see. So I was most excited about this one, and it's my least favorite. It's cordless. It's a little 1-inch plate, which is awesome for tight areas, but man, it stalls so easily. It's got no power. So you almost have to, you really can't put any pressure, and it still does okay to get in really tight spaces, but I just wish this was a little better. It's the only thing. So I'm gonna use it though, but all right. So I'll come down here and just chat for a second. So I'm not gonna film the whole rest of polishing the entire truck. I'm probably gonna spend a few hours doing this with the Jess car for the first pass. I wanna make sure it's fully corrected and perfect as much as possible. And then I'm gonna come back and I'll film some with the Sonax Perfect Finish, which will probably be tomorrow that I'm gonna do that. And then naturally I'm gonna film on the ceramic coating and also. If you got any questions, just throw them in the comments. I appreciate all the comments, suggestions, anything. Like, I'm no pro at this. Like I've said before, I just enjoy doing this. I'm passionate about it, and I've been doing it for 20 plus years for myself. So I just enjoy doing it for others as well sometimes. Don't be afraid to try if you've never done it before. YouTube like this has tons of videos out there, and you'll be amazed at the results you can get just with some good products and just taking your time with some good techniques. So stick around, and we have more to come.